In this section, I am going to introduce you to the Powtoon timeline, which is truly responsible for what makes Powtoon an animated presentation tool. This is a simple Powtoon presentation, and I have two random images placed on the screen. So I will be showing you how to import images later, but for now let us move on to the timeline. Look at the bottom of the screen, of the middle pane, you will see a timeline. Okay, let me click on this little icon found here. This one will highlight two of the images that I have placed on my slide. So I'm going to hover over one of these pictures. I will click on that. Look what happens. Okay, when I click on that, the image gets highlighted. It gets selected, and also its properties on the timeline gets highlighted. Look at the timeline. At the very beginning it says 0 sec, and at the end it says 10 sec. Okay, which means that this slide is going to be displayed on the screen, or it is going to be visible to the audience for 10 seconds. That means it will be visible on the screen for 10 seconds. Drawing our attention back to the image that have been highlighted or been selected, you can see that it is placed in the timeline and that it appears at 0 second on the timeline, and it will disappear from the screen at 8 seconds. Okay? Next, I am going to select the other picture, that is a purple flower. So I hover my mouse over the other picture, click on it. Now this will be selected. Yes, it is selected. Okay, look at the timeline again. This picture, the purple picture flower, will appear again at 0 second in the timeline, but it will disappear from the screen at 4th second. To make this presentation a little more dramatic, I am going to set the purple flower to appear on the screen at the 1st second. So I hover the cursor over the slider and then drag it to the 1st second. Okay, that is good. Next, the second image, I want to set it to another timer. So I am going to select the image by clicking on it on the timeline. You see that it gets highlighted, and then I am going to drag the slider for this image to appear at the 3rd second. Let us now sample our very first animated Powtoon presentation. So I click on the slider and I drag it all the way to the beginning, that is the 0th second. Okay, now I will click on the play button. Watch. Let me just remind you one more time that the slideshow, the animation slideshow, lasted exactly 10 seconds. As you can see in the timeline, it starts from 0 second up to the 10th second. Okay, now I am going to extend my slide up to, let's say, 17 second. So the slider right now is at the very beginning, that is at the 0th second. So I'm going to drag the slider right to the very end of the timeline. That means I'm going to place it at the 10th second. And then after that I press the plus button. 1 second added, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, and then now 7 seconds. So that means the slide have been extended to 17th second. And if I want to reduce the time, I'm just going to press the minus button, that which is placed right below the plus button. That is all it takes to create beautiful animated presentation using Powtoon.